My sunglasses. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Oh, it's so much better.
Today I am meeting with a guy who invented something called the Rackabot. Apparently they were on the Dragon's Den. It's a self-drying boot rack so that you don't have soggy salt water on the floors in your house in winter.
Like butt?
Rackabot. Oh, I didn't even get that. I didn't get that. They had a Kickstarter campaign going where they were trying to raise $25,000 and they didn't quite get there. This is not an ad. This is not to promote the product. I don't even think it's available for public consumption yet. This is to determine whether or not we invest our life savings.
What?
Shh. I didn't tell you that? I thought I told you that.
I thought this was a legal thing.
All right, we've lost the wife. Now I just need to go to the bank and remortgage our house. Okay, I'm joking, obviously. When I was a kid, I used to come up with inventions all the time. I invented something called the fisheye filter, which was basically just curved glass that you could put on the end of a camera lens, and it was like a cheap way to have a fisheye lens distorted effect. Except it was already invented. When I was in law school, I invented something called the novel tee, which was a golf tee and pencil, so that you could stick the tee into the ground to tee off, and you could keep your score with the tee. That too had also been invented. If I were born 2,000 years ago, man, I could have been the greatest inventor of all time. Now I can finally eat my breakfast, which is a little hard, but looks good. I've always been impressed and sort of fascinated with people, entrepreneurs who are willing to invest so much of their time and money in ideas, concepts they believe in. I've always been amazed by the whole process. It's one thing to have a good idea. To get that idea from your head onto a shelf is an ordeal. It's a journey. The litigator in me says, okay, great, ideas are one thing. Protection. How do you protect your idea? The guy that I'm meeting with actually has a patent on the concept. Patents are great in countries where people respect patents. One of the big problems was Kickstarter. There was this guy who basically they called him a Kickstarter pirate, would go on Kickstarter, find a bunch of ideas that were not protected. People were raising money for their ideas so that they could get them to market. This guy would take the idea, take it to China, make it for a tenth the price, and hit the market before the creator could even hit the market with their own idea. Protection. So you can have legal protection, or you can have no legal protection and just be first to market and ride that out as quickly and as powerfully as you can. The thing about even having legal protection is that it costs money to enforce. So you can have all the legal protection in the world, but if you don't have the means, the financial means to pursue and defend it legally, guess what? People get away with patent infringement all the time.
Mr. David.
You don't mind being in video? Where are we?
We are at Le Tiers-Lieu. It's a brand new co-working space in Laval.
Those look like PewDiePie chairs. Can I go see those chairs?
Yeah, sure. That's a chair here. You like it?
The question is, can it do this? Nope, it can't. Okay.
It's half size. It's 3D printed. The soles, you want to elevate the soles to free the soles so it can dry and drain.
The shoe would be on this. It would be level. The shoe.
Like that. Oh, if you come, I'll show you.
Okay. Let's see this.
So this is Rackabot, the signature version of it. So it was used for sure. It becomes dirty, but it's, as you can see, the The shelves are smooth, so you take a wet cloth, 20 seconds, you push the little rocks into the holes, and it goes into the container.
That's the salt from the winter.
Exactly.
So you were on Dragons then?
Yep.
They said no because not enough sales.
They said it was a great idea. The way we position the product, it's a furniture. She asked me the question, Sebastian, are you sure you don't have an LOI from a big retailer? The design?
LOI is a letter of intent. A commitment from a big company to buy
commitment or
to buy a certain amount.
Exactly, exactly.
Well, that is super interesting to see how entrepreneurs have to work in order to get their idea into a tangible format, onto market, the amount of time and money that's required, the amount of risk and personal investment, the risk of being exploited by potential investors. The extremely rich and powerful didn't get that way by spending more than they had to. To get a product on a shelf, it's not as simple as just walking into Canadian Tire and asking them to carry it. You have to spend months negotiating with people, convincing them that it's something that's worth the real estate on their own shelves at their own stores. Then you got to negotiate the proper terms, because they're not just oh, don't do it, camera. They're not just going to carry your stuff in the hopes that it gets sold. They're going to ask for conditions. Either they're going to take it on consignment, and if it doesn't sell, you're going to have to buy it back, or they're going to take an amazing percentage of it because you are occupying their real estate to sell your product. You know, there's the old expression that the big fish in the pond gets that way by not being caught, but the big fish in the pond also gets that way by eating the small fish. Let's see. We need a size comparison. So big. Yes. Go. So check this out. This is the progress. There's a
Oh, lift your little butt.
okay, it's here. Look at this. Up. Okay.
Oh, she's coming along a little bit.
She's developing muscles further down in her back to hold support, and
Hello.
I just gave her math yesterday. I wanted to get her all dirty.
Hello, sweetheart.
So that's it. It's a very interesting project. The guy understands that you have to have legal protection, but you also have to have the backing, the financial backing to be able to pursue that legal protection. A patent is great, but you have to be able to get lawyers involved to protect that patent if someone violates it. That's the crux of it, is you have to have creativity that is either so original that no one can replicate it, or that is so protected that no one can copy it. The other problem is it needs finances to get to market. You have the best idea in the world, but if you don't have the finances to bring it to people's eyes, they're never going to know it even exists. Amazing to see how entrepreneurs work and the dedication that they put into pursuing a project from the infancy, from the embryonic stages of an idea in their head to something that they bring to market. It takes a long time though, and a lot of capital. Okay, let's go for a walk. And we're off.